The 11th of December 2022, it's a good, bright, hard, frosty day. It's a Sunday, any still water on puddles or on tanks is frozen. About an eighth of an inch of ice. This is on migration planned. Short video, a few facts. The Planning and Development Act. I was asked by a subscriber about the legal situation about planning for hotels that now house migrants. The Planning and Development Act was changed and amended in 2015 to allow such buildings such as hotels, guest houses, to change the use to that of which is roughly described as housing migrants. So there's no need to amend the planning laws. The key to this is, this was introduced in 2015, long before there was any talk of the Ukraine. Long before they could have known there was anything like this. So the current migration wave in 2015, it was fully the plan. Now, Eamon Ryan, the current Minister for Energy, put it on the record of Dáil Éireann in 2016, and it's contained in my video 16A, that he wants 15 million migrants into Ireland. And he gave the impression that this is going to help with climate change. 15 million migrants, that's what he said. It's on the record of the Dáil. I've checked it, it's there. It's contained in that video. Anyone that doesn't believe me, 16A. So this was long before the Ukraine. Okay, now I can tell you that South American workers who come to Ireland for various reasons are being sent home strictly on the expiration of their 3-year visa. They get a 3-year work visa to work in meat plants and to work in bars and hotels, cooks and all that, cleaners and all that. They have to go home. And I know of instances where there are parties when they're leaving, and it's very, very sad. And they're crying going off. Lovely people, and they have to go. So they're being sent home. So you can see that there's an unequal application. What our government in Ireland wants is people on the dole. People who come here, men, nearly all men. There's some viciousness in them. In the present Ukraine situation, is reports of there being 1,000 Ukrainians in some tent down in County Clare in Ireland. And my point is this, that if there was genuine ladies, old age people, women, children, but particularly vulnerable people, particularly old age people, if they had their houses destroyed, and there was proper evidence that their houses were destroyed, and they were brought into Ireland and put into community centres and parish halls and GAA halls, the Irish people and the locals would come in and make life better for them. They would welcome them, they would bring them in things, they'd bring kids in toys, and we'd make them feel at home. This is what should have been done, and we should be sure that these people are genuine migrants, that they're not leased on their own houses in Ukraine, and coming here for free dole and all of that. If it were properly managed and a reasonable effort made to make sure these were genuine Ukrainian war victims, then it would be better for everybody. But of course, that was never the agenda. This is just something that was foisted on the government to have to deal with it. But that was never the agenda. The real agenda is 5 million men from parts of the world where working for a boss is not on, and in many cases where there are religious disdain for the Christian way of life we have in Ireland. That's what they really wanted. That's what the Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Labour, Sinn Féin and all the rest of them, that's what they all want, with the exception of the few rural politicians. Folks, that's basically it. It couldn't be that this is all Ukraine. They planned for this in the Planning Act in 2015. They planned for it. And Ryan is now the minister in government, a Green Party minister, and he is doing precisely what he said he would do. He's on his way to putting 5 million migrants into Ireland. I know people say, oh no, oh he's a crank, oh he's a crank. I mean, that's what the man said in the Parliament. That's what he said in the Parliament. Moreover, Micheál Martin was in the European Parliament, and the Swedish Foreign Minister warned him about 5 million people coming from Africa. They said you can't house all these in Europe. And Micheál Martin did not argue with him. He seemed to say that it was necessary. He took a different stance, that this was the right way to go. So this is proof that the Irish population has been supplanted by their own government. Who'd have ever thought back in the 1920s and the 1930s that this is where Irish nationalism and their own self-government would end up? Folks, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. We'll see you back for something else soon. Thank you.